Welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be going over my top favorite SMGs, right? So if you guys think you're going to enjoy this video, do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment, and maybe just comment down below what is your favorite SMG, right? So unfortunately I didn't get a comment on my last video talking about, well, what did I say for the vertical grips. So unfortunately, no shout out. But I'll tell you what, we're still gonna be doing the SMG video, right? Same rules apply. If you can tell me why I use vertical grips, maybe even angle grips, this time angle grips, if you can tell me why I use angle grips from my first video that I made, my favorite rifles, and you put in the comments down below, I will shout you out. And what is it? My top 5 favorite LMGs, I think? LMGs or shotguns? One of the two. LMGs or shotguns. We're pretty much my next 5 top favorite gun category. Cool? Cool. Alright. So, yeah, so this one's going to be about SMGs. So if you guys enjoy this video and you'd like to see more things like this, do me a solid. Like, subscribe, comment. I love it. Makes me happy. You know, makes me not want to drown myself in a slushy. You know. Yeah. Alright, so let's hurry up and get to the first section where I explain my first and my favorite SMG. So the first SMG that I have on my list is LVAW. At least I believe that's the name of it. I like this SMG. Now I keep on saying SMG, right? In my last video, if you guys watched it, maybe if you didn't watch it, whatever, I talked about the SMG called the LVAW. Now it used to be in the rifle section, which I believe it still should be a rifle, right? Because you can see the build of it, the barrel, all of that, right? Like for me, if someone showed me this, I'd say it's definitely a rifle. So I wouldn't really call this an SMG, right? But it is unfortunately in the SMG area, so I'll put this as like a rifle / SMG, but it's going to be in the SMG video. So what I like about this one, right? It pretty much runs for silent missions. It goes for 300 blackout. I believe the rounds are supposed to be subsonic, right? The rounds are supposed to look a little more different. They look more like 5.56 from what I think personally. But it's supposed to be 300 blackout and likely supersonic, right? So I usually run this for like close quarters, like silent missions, and that's why you see me for EOTech holographic sight, right? And then a angle grip, which, like I said in the start of the video, if you can tell me why I use an angle grip, wonderful. You'd have to watch the next video. You know what? Yeah. So if you tell me what the angle grip is, like the whole purpose of the angle grip, beautiful. Right? I'll shout you out in the next video. So, alright, that's just pretty much the build. Pretty simple. I love the way the charging handle is. I think they call it the JHC charging handle. But I like it because you can use both fingers instead of having to use one finger to charge your bag, making it a little more easier. But really that's not a big thing in the game itself. But just the look of the gun, the way the magazine is, the whole purpose of it, I love it, right? So this is probably going to be my top, pretty much my top 1 favorite SMG. Like this really ain't, like I don't really have a specific order these are supposed to go in, but I would probably say, as of right now, this would be my top 1 favorite SMG, right? If it wasn't an SMG. Technically not, so I will show you what my top SMG is. Alright, so here's my top 1 favorite SMG. Now, as you see, I have a little bit of a different sight than some would recommend. I like the sight for usually SMGs to be not like up high. I want it to be as close as it is to the barrel and the railing, right? So that's why I have this site. I personally think that there is a couple of other sites where people have it. Like, I don't know, like maybe I'll show a picture of it. Maybe. Probably not gonna guarantee anything. But there's different sites that people would run for this build, and I don't like it because it's not close to the barrel, and it's not going to be as accurate as to what you see on the site itself, right? Your shot is not going to land as close as you would expect it to be from what you see from the site. So that's why I like mine as close to the barrel as I can make it, right? I think it looks beautiful, right? There would probably be a bunch of other sites I would put on this. Unfortunately, Tactical Assault VR has a good amount of sites, but doesn't have a bunch of sites. I think they need to add more sites for the customizational purposes. I've been always wanting more sites, but you know, maybe they'll come in the future, right? Maybe in the next update or whatever, right? Which is May 7th, from what I believe is the next update, where they're going to be dropping a bunch of things. If you guys like, I can make another video about that where I explain what I know about the May 7th update. I don't know a lot, but I know some. Cool. Alright, so yeah, so that's why I have this exact site. I always usually run a suppressor on it. There's times where I won't, because the SMG is usually for close quarters, and the suppressor just adds more length to make it difficult when you go room to room, right? The collision. So usually sometimes I'll run it without a suppressor, but most of the times I will run with a suppressor. I like the way this is built, it's set up. I like the way the mag is. Like, it just looks cool, right? Come on, there's a bunch of movies with it. It just looks nice, right? It looks clean, and obviously there is the slap, which if you guys don't know how to do this, you pull back the charging handle and then you hold X for a couple of seconds. While I'm holding X for a couple of seconds, hoping that this works on my life, this is something that a lot of people don't know. Alright, so this might be a little bit of a tip and trick type of thing we're going to do with this gun in particular, and they purposely did this so then it just wasn't like complicated, because technically the HK slap is not really practical, so they didn't really think they should make it more easier to do it, but they still add it into the game for the cool factor, you know, which I can totally respect, right? If you guys like, I could also cut this, but if we get this to work, which is hopefully very, very soon, maybe I need to take out the mag. I haven't exactly found this out all the way, but maybe you have to take out the mag and hold it for a couple of seconds, maybe like trying to pull it up. You know, like I haven't found a lot of things that work for this. There we go. So if you can see it right here, it just went up. We can put our mag in there and we can slap it. You see? Beautiful, wonderful, and as you can see, it did go into the chamber. Oh, kind of got a jam right there. So yeah, favorite SMG. There is maybe another one that kind of is right up there. So let's start and jump into the look and the reasons as to why I like that SMG. Alright, so right here we have the UMP-45. I don't know if I mentioned what the last gun was. But if I didn't, is the MP5. And the reason why this one is kind of just right up there by the MP5 is because it does do the HK slap. I just don't like how bulky it is. So usually at SMG, you're trying to make it as small as possible, but the mag, the way the gun is set up, it's just a little more bulky. Well, a lot more bulky than the MP5, right? Still a lovely gun. As you see, I kind of have like a larger battery database in the holographic side, and then the charging handle can still do the HK slap. So make sure nothing's in the chamber, wait a little bit, then hopefully it will come up in a couple of seconds, and then we'll be able to do the HK slap. But the reason why I usually do a holographic is because I am obsessed with holographics. I'm the most comfortable with them, and I think they're pretty cool. I think they have a bunch of benefits with it, but I'm not an absolute pro, nor am I the creator of the holographic site, so I couldn't really tell you all of the benefits. Now, I think for certain guns, they specifically make it where only certain suppressors work. I don't know if other suppressors work for this. I'd probably use a different one because I think this one looks a little interesting. But already with the bulkiness and as big as the gun is, I probably would not be using a suppressor on this one specifically. Now, I do like the gun for a couple of reasons, right? One is, even though it's bulky, I bet that the grip and that the stability of the recoil would be manageable, it'd be comfortable, unlike the MP5, where it feels like it's about to kill your shoulders, right? I think they also add a little more rail systems, good amount of customization, and just the look of the gun overall is pretty cool. I also know that on the side of it, kind of like a rifle, they have the little thing that you can slap. I don't know what you want to call that exactly. So here, let's shoot this. We'll see if it actually works. So, usually with all these though, yeah, so see, it works. So this is actually really cool. I don't know if the HK does that exactly. Like, you might be able to slap this. Not necessarily though. So like, I think it'd probably be a lot more quicker with this option. Be a lot more smoother, and it's kind of just like a rifle and SMG together, right? Unfortunately, I cannot get this up, but you get the point, right? It would go up. Oh, there we go. We got it up. It would go up, and you can just slap it like that. Hey, I guess it does work. So, if you guys have any tips and tricks on how to do this little up motion, oh yeah, I just did it. Let me know down in the comments below. Maybe just kind of teach me a thing or two, because, you know, this is kind of new to me. I didn't find this out until a couple of weeks. So, you know. Alright, now let's move on to our fourth SMG. So right here we have the MTX Rattler. Now, here's the thing with this SMG specifically, right? And you might see this also in a couple of different SMGs. I don't usually have an angled grip, right? Because there's hardly any room to put an angled grip, and I personally feel more comfortable without there being one, right? That might not be everybody's opinion, but it's at least mine, right? We have the holographic, right? For kind of like rifle builds, I usually add a holographic, right? I like the way the mag is set up, the stock. I'd say honestly this might be very similar to a rifle, but I can see why it's an SMG for such small length at its barrel, and in the way the stock is built. So it just has that little setup as a rifle. So this ain't really pretty much, there's not a lot I can really say about this. I just like it for how small it is, the mag size, and kind of how it's similar to a rifle if you're used to the rifle build. The way you can reload it, the way you can pretty much rack it. It also has that JHC charging handle, which I love, right? So I like this build. I think they need to add a little more SMGs, because I would probably say that I would make a bunch of different adjustments with what my top SMGs would be, right? I think there's a couple things that can top this for sure. It's just they don't usually add those type of things. For example, you can add the MPC, no, not the MPC, MPX, right? The MPX here, I'll show an image right here. MPX, wonderful SMG, and I believe it's American made. Really, really cool SMG, and I think they add that. But MCX, Rattler. Alright, so for the final SMG, we have here the MP5 but 10mm option, right? So it's chambered in 10mm instead of 9x19. The thing with this one,
cover me.
It is, who said that? It is exactly like the UMP, and the MP5 had a baby, right? So it has that type of mag, as you see. Obviously, it has that, you know, HK slap that you can do and love, and all that types of good stuff. Oh. But yeah, like, you know. Oh, I think I figured it out. So all that type of good stuff, right? you know, I like this gun. Yeah, it's the same exact attachments, but I like this gun for a bunch of reasons. One of which
Taking cover.
is the light's kind of built in. It's like, it's not actually an attachment, it's built into the gun, which I think is pretty cool detail. Right, the stock's a little different from the UMP 45, and it's just that mix of the two, right? It's pretty cool. You know, I would say I like this gun. All these guns are kind of similar in some way, right? And that's why I say that Tactical Assault needs to add more SMGs, along with a bunch of other stuff. Hey, maybe in the future I'll make a video where maybe there's like I don't know, like a couple things I want to see in Tactical Assault VR. Oh my goodness. Alright. That's a good idea. So that's gonna be the video idea. We're gonna probably make a video talking about what I expect in Tactical Assault VR. Maybe it'll be like a short or something, I don't know. So I'll figure that out. But that's all of the SMGs as of right now. So thank you for watching. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment. Oh wait, before you go, I got one more part. Alright, welcome back to verse of the video time. Now in this verse specifically, I think it would help reach out to a couple of people, right? Around this time, or just in general, there's people that feels brokenhearted, empty, depressed, etc., right? And it's a really big problem. So this verse goes out for all the people that is going through that, or maybe just a verse to keep in mind. So Psalms 34:18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Now, for anybody that is crushed in spirit, just know that God is always there with you, right? Throughout your journey, He has a plan for you, and you just have to trust in that plan and stay faithful. So that is going to be the verse of the video today. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Now, with all being said, I hope you guys can like, subscribe, comment, and have a blessed day. Oh, and as always, stay tactical.